Bernie Sanders is feeling the burn from his own policies. Normally leftist politicians are insulated by wealth or the Capitol Hill palace from the negative outcomes of their unrealistic policies. Bernie, who to the best of our knowledge has never run even a lemonade stand, is in the forefront of those demanding a $15 per hour minimum wage. Bernie is convinced every business owner in America could afford to pay $15 per hour. Maybe even $25 per hour, if they weren't so greedy and insisted on feeding their families, too. This fantasy attracted the attention of leftist voters, which was good for Bernie, but it also attracted the attention of workers in his presidential campaign, which turned out to be bad for Bernie. Before we go into details, let us explain that running a campaign isn't really like running a business. It's more like running a Ponzi scheme. A campaign doesn't produce anything. It stays in business by convincing donors to give money to the campaign, and in return, after the election, donors will get access to the candidate, maybe a contract or two, and the satisfaction of knowing they backed a winner. When the campaign loses, just like when a Ponzi scheme crashes, the donors get nothing and don't get their money back either. Fox News reports that the bros working for Bernie started comparing their paychecks to what he was promising and discovered they weren't getting $15 per hour. This is where Bernie's introduction to reality began. Bernie claims to have the first major presidential campaign with unionized workers. These workers complained about their wages, and when the campaign didn't surrender, the workers went public in an attempt to embarrass Bernie. This hurt his feelings. "It does bother me that people are going outside of the process and going to the media," Sanders said. "That is really not acceptable. It is really not what labor negotiations are about, and it's improper." Earth to Bernie. Going public is what unions do. Unions consider embarrassing publicity to be part of the negotiating process. Bernie's being surprised only serves to reveal how out of touch he really is. Implementing the $15 wage was also a nightmare because it proved the greedy capitalists were right. Even in an operation run on free money, there wasn't enough. Sanders announced he will cut staffers' hours so that they can effectively be paid a $15 an hour minimum wage. This is what economists and conservatives have been saying all along. Humorist Stephen Miller did a bit of gloating. For the first time in his life, socialist Bernie Sanders practices economics, and, buddy, the results are hilarious. Why won't millionaire Bernie Sanders, who owns 3 homes, instead of cutting hours, pay his staff a living wage? People are starving. Let's hope this has been a learning experience for Bernie and will add some reality to his wage demands. We're so optimistic that we have a suggestion for another learning experience regarding economics and Bernie's campaign promises. We suggest Bernie announce that in any city where he has a campaign office, Sanders will cover medical expenses for any illegal aliens who happen to fall ill or need surgery. Then we'll see what happens. Michael Reagan, the eldest son of President Reagan, is a Newsmax TV analyst. A syndicated columnist and author, he chairs the Reagan Legacy Foundation. Michael is an in-demand speaker with Premier Speakers Bureau. Read more reports from Michael Reagan. Go here now. Michael R. Shannon is a commentator, researcher for the League of American Voters, and an award-winning political and advertising consultant with nationwide and international experience. He is author of Conservative Christian's Guidebook for Living in Secular Times, now with added humor. Read more of Michael Shannon's reports. Go here now. Let's block ads. Why?